Okay, yeah. I'm going to let this set up and briefly explain how it works. So this is a convolutional neural network that does facial recognition, and that in and of itself isn't necessarily impressive, but the interesting thing about this one is that it hasn't actually ever seen my face. So as you can see, there's my face up there. It's not the, the fastest, and it is kind of jumpy at recognizing me, but as you can see, it is printing my name out. At least some of the time it is. So I'm gonna pull that off just so it's not jittering around all the time. But basically, instead of training this model to recognize my face, I trained this model to recognize the difference between a reference photo and a provided photo. So if I have two pictures of the same people next to each other, it should output that they're, or if I, sorry, forgot what I said there for a second. If it has two pictures of the same people, it should output same, and if it has two pictures of different people, it should output different. And the good thing about this is that you can just not train it on thousands of people, you can train it on thousands of pictures of a person paired up with a different person, and then just have reference photos, which, you know, tops out. So that's what all this code does. It just pulls out my image from the camera feed and compares it to a bunch of reference files that I have in here. Let me open those up. They're somewhere around here. Give me a second. Face comparator reference. Yeah. So I have pictures of me and then pictures of Tom Scott. And the interesting thing is that it never saw a picture of me or Tom Scott in any of its training. It trained on this, and this is just a pretty standard neural network, except the images and labels are same and different. So what happens is it takes pictures from here. It has a whole bunch of people paired up with different people, and then in this folder it has people paired up with themselves just from different YouTube videos, and it's all their faces cropped out and compared 100 by 200, and yeah, so it can learn to recognize same and difference rather than learning to recognize a whole bunch of different people. And so the benefit of that is that if you want to have a facial recognition project and you want to add somebody else's face to the file, you don't have to retrain the model, and you won't have to tweak the model at all, because the more people you add, the more data you have to have. It's a whole big thing. You might have to make it bigger to memorize more things. This doesn't. It just has to have same and different and reference files. It'll probably end up being slower if you have like thousands of reference files. But as you can see, you could do it in somewhat real time. not the fastest, but it wasn't like the worst thing in the world. And if you just had like a 5-second video, you could recognize somebody with pretty good confidence. So yeah, that's what I've been working on, a alternative approach to facial recognition.